Hello and welcome to day 19 of Lifebook's 30-day challenge. It's so good to have you here with me today as we explore a category that's really important to all of us, your financial life. You know, people have always had a love-hate relationship with money all throughout history, but nowhere has it been more apparent than in the 21st century, when wealth is exploding all around us. And nowhere has it caused so much confusion and so much emotional violence to so many people. We're living in the richest time in history by a mile. As a species, we've created more wealth in the last 200 years than the whole sum of human history before us. I mean, money is everywhere. Nothing is untouched by it. It permeates every aspect of our lives. But what exactly is money? What do we know about it? Where does it come from? Why do we need it? Why do some people have a lot of it while other people have very little? Why is something that's so incredibly important to our overall quality of life so perplexing and so mysterious? What have we been taught about the subject of money? From a very young age, most of us are taught that money, or the love of money, is the root of all evil. That's a belief that deeply permeates our society. And I'll tell you, it represents a huge emotional hurdle to a great many people. I mean, to claim that the love of anything is the very foundation of evil, well, that is a terribly frightening assertion, especially in the mind of a child. Nevertheless, our society teaches, and we've been led to accept, that loving money equals evil. And yet, all of us would like more money. Doesn't that seem a bit odd? Pursuing money in one form or another is how most of us spend most of our waking hours. The act of earning money takes so much of our time that we literally characterize it as what we do. Now, why in the world would we want to expend so much time and energy pursuing something that we regard as evil? Many people associate wealth with greed and with selfishness. Many people view rich people with resentment, not only because of what they have, but because we're kind of suspicious about who they must have hurt on their way to making all that money, right? I mean, many of us assume that in order to become wealthy, you got to take advantage of other people. And yet, everyone wants to be rich. Would anyone really rather be poor? I mean, despising rich people and wanting to be rich, that just doesn't make any sense. It's like saying, I really hate the members of that club, but man, I'd sure like to join. Doesn't that strike you as a little bit strange? Our conflicting messages and feelings and beliefs about money are just so confused. We know that we need money to have a good quality of life, but we're taught to be very afraid of it. We want more of something that society has defined as the very foundation of evil. We resent wealthy people, but we want to be like them. We tend to demonize the corporations that create the products and services that we all enjoy. I mean, doesn't this seem odd to you? Why would this be? Well, I believe that it's because none of us were ever taught anything about money. I mean, we don't teach the subject of money to our children in school in any meaningful way. What money is, how to make it, how to manage it. These are things that are just simply not addressed in the course of a standard education. And here's the problem. We go to school for 15 or 20 years, and we learn about dozens and dozens of subjects, everything but money. And then we graduate, and we spend most of our waking hours every day for the rest of our life what? Trying to make money. A subject about which we've learned absolutely nothing in school. Does that ring a bell with you? Because just about everyone I know has had that experience. I know so many intelligent, talented, disciplined, hardworking people who are completely dumbfounded when it comes to the subject of money. It should be no surprise that we have serious money problems. Most of us are in debt up to our eyebrows. You know, we're bewildered and angered by the widening gap between the rich and the poor. Financial problems are among the leading cause of divorce for couples. Poverty, which is lack of money, is a leading cause of crime in this country. And many people wonder how poverty can even exist in a country that's so incredibly wealthy. We do have serious money problems. But when have we attempted to educate anyone on this issue, especially our children? I mean, what kind of disconnect allows us to totally disregard such an incredibly important subject from an educational perspective? How do we expect people to learn anything about money if we don't teach it to them? Well, here's the sad truth. When it comes to money, we're expected to figure it out on our own. We're not expected to discover the principles of physics out there in the real world after we graduate. We're not expected to figure out geometry on our own. We're not left to wrestle with verb tense or multiplication or igneous rocks or cumulus clouds. But we're somehow expected to discover the principles of money all by ourselves. And I'll tell you, that's a really, really hard thing to do. Now, I had the good fortune of getting an education on the subject of money. Didn't learn any of it in school because they don't teach it in school. But it's in my blood. It's programmed into me because I had a role model, my father, who's a moneymaker, a real rags to riches story. And it made a gigantic impact on my personality. I saw how to create wealth firsthand, the entire process, and then I did it myself. When I was a kid, I thought that what you were supposed to do when you grew up was to find something that you're really good at and then nurture and expand those talents. Work hard to discover how to use your talents to make the lives of the people around you happier or more beautiful or safer or better somehow, and not only get wealthy doing it, but gain a whole lot of personal fulfillment along the way. And you know what? I still do. I'd like to share a clip from the Lifebook program with you right now that talks about my beliefs about money.
During the course of my journey from poverty to financial abundance, I developed a deep understanding of what money is, where it comes from, what it means, and what it can do. At a very young age, I remember looking around me at how people viewed money and thinking to myself, something's very wrong here. If people understood what wealth is, where it comes from, and what it can do for people, it wouldn't be this way. So I studied it. I read about it. I found out that if we want to begin to remove the mystery, the chaos, the confusion surrounding money, the best place to start is by answering this question. What is money? And it turns out there's actually an objective answer. Money is simply a tool of trade. It's a medium of exchange, nothing more, nothing less. Money is an invention that allows us to trade the goods we create and the services we offer more easily. It's one of the most important inventions in the history of our species. Without money, civilization would not have even been possible. Money has two primary purposes: to standardize value so that people can trade things more easily, and to store value so that people can save it and trade it at a later date. And these two things are the foundation of the civilized world. Here's an example of what standardizing value means. Say I was a wheat farmer a few thousand years ago, before money was invented. I want some eggs. Well, I'm gonna have to barter. I need to find a guy with chickens and try to trade him some wheat for some eggs. But if the chicken guy doesn't want wheat, say instead that he wants beef, now I gotta find a guy with cows. And if I find the guy with cows, but he doesn't want my wheat either, say he wants 3 clay pots instead, now I'm gonna have to find a potter. So finally, the potter is willing to trade me 3 pots for my wheat. So now I can trade the pots for the beef and the beef for the eggs. That's what people used to have to do to trade their goods and services. They had to trade their stuff directly for other people's stuff, and it was really clumsy. Well, money got rid of all that. It allowed me to turn my wheat into silver coins. And those coins were recognized as the standard of value by everyone. I could trade them for eggs or beef or 3 pots or jewelry for my wife, anything I wanted in one step. It's more efficient. Money is a medium of exchange. Money standardizes or equalizes value. It makes everything worth X amount of these little things. Money also allowed people to store value, which is huge. As a wheat farmer, I work all year long in my fields, but the harvest happens all at once. If I don't trade my wheat quickly, it's going to mold and all my work is going to go down the drain. So I have to trade it for whatever is available at the time. If I want to trade my wheat for a horse, but there's none available at the time, too bad for me. Maybe next year there's going to be a horse available when I have some more wheat. Money changed all that too. With money, I can turn my wheat into coins. And then I can trade those coins not only for what I want, but when I want. I can wait a month. I can wait a year. I can even pass that money on to my children. Money allowed people to save. And what is it that we're saving? What's in there? Our productive accomplishments, our hard work. Money is stored energy. Your work, your sweat, your thinking, your talents are in there. You traded those things for these things. Today, we use paper money. In America, we use dollars. Dollars are pieces of paper printed by the government. By themselves, they're worthless. You can't eat them, you can't live in them, you can't do anything with them other than what they were invented for: trade, products, and services. It's not the dollars themselves that have worth. It's only what the dollars represent. Now, why is this important to understand? Stop chasing those pieces of paper and focus on what they represent, and you'll find out. Money represents the very best things that people have to offer each other, the goods and the services that people produce. With money, people can easily exchange their work, their talents, their skills, the very best that's inside of themselves for the best that's inside of others. Money is quite literally a symbol of human productivity and achievement. It represents all the good things that we create for each other. Today, we trade our work for money, which we then use to trade for the work of other people. Steven Spielberg, his work is to make movies, and the rest of us go to work and we trade our various talents and skills for money, and then we trade a small part of what we've earned to Steven Spielberg's company so that we can enjoy an evening's entertainment. The value Bill Gates has created is software that's changed the way that people live, and he's wealthy because he's positively affected the lives of literally billions of people in a profound way. A doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, a janitor, they all provide valuable services to other people. They exchange those services for money so they can acquire the valuable services of others. You trade your work for money, and the better you are at what you do, the more valuable you become, the more money you can trade your work for. Money is a symbol of the best that people have to offer each other. Do I love money? Well, if you mean, do I love little green pieces of paper with pictures of dead presidents on them, the answer is no, not really. But if you mean, do I love what money represents, what it means, and what it can do, the answer is absolutely. Anyone who has collecting those little pieces of paper at the center of their life's aspirations, to me, is way missing the point. If you want to enrich yourself, stop concentrating on those pieces of paper and start concentrating on the value that you can contribute to the people around you.
What if you were taught at a very young age that money is a symbol of human productivity and human achievement, that it represents all the good things that people create, and that it's absolutely worthy of your respect and your admiration? What if you've been taught that the love of money is really the love of the human mind, of production, of progress, of freedom, that it's actually the love of humanity? What if you've been taught that wealth and progress and prosperity are what eliminate poverty and human suffering? That making money equals not some sort of spiritual defect, but the highest form of contribution? If you'd been encouraged by everyone around you to develop and apply your unique talents to the pursuit and the creation of wealth, how might your life be different than it is right now? If your children grew up believing this, how would their lives be different? Your beliefs and your attitudes toward money and wealth can have a major impact on whether or not you're going to be able to create financial abundance in your life. How you think about money will determine your financial condition. Your beliefs, whether they're true or not, whether they're helpful or not, are going to determine your actions, and that's why they're so incredibly important. Choose them consciously. Don't let a limiting, lousy belief control your life, especially not if someone else put that belief in your head. Decide for yourself what you want your beliefs to be about money. Now, tomorrow, we're going to go deeper into this unique and fascinating category of your life, and you're going to do a really, really powerful exercise that's going to be a game changer for you. I'm really excited about it. Until then, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you tomorrow as we explore your financial life together.